The Battle of Xylos Drift was already lost. Across the fractured asteroid field of the Krellin Expanse, the remnants of the Free Systems Alliance huddled behind failing shields, their fleet reduced to a ghost of its former glory. Once they had been the galaxy's last hope against the dominion of the Silent Maw, a biomechanical hive mind that consumed worlds not for resources, but for silence. It erased civilizations not with fire but with absence. No screams, no transmissions, no memory. Just empty orbits and dead stars. Now, only 17 ships remained. Their commander, High Marshal Talon Voss of the crystalline Xanthari, stared at the tactical hollow with hollow eyes. The Maw's vanguard, thousands of bioships shaped like obsidian teeth, surged forward, their collective mind humming a frequency that frayed neural pathways and corroded hope. Surrender meant assimilation. Resistance meant erasure. Signal all vessels, Talon rasped. Prepare final protocols. We will not let them take our names. But before the order could be sent, a new signature flickered on the long-range sensors. Small, erratic, and utterly unfamiliar. Unknown vessel entering the drift, reported the comms officer, a young Qatari with trembling antennae. No transponder. No IFF, it's broadcasting on an open channel. Talon frowned. Patch it through. What followed was not a war cry, not a demand, not even a language the Alliance recognized at first. It was music, raw, distorted, layered with static and something that sounded like laughter. Then a voice cut through, accented, urgent, and unmistakably human. Alliance Command, this is Captain Ria Cho of the UNS Iron Mule. We read your distress ping. Hold position. Helps inbound. Talon exchanged glances with his bridge crew. Humans. The species from the Sol system? They were barely spacefaring, barely known. Their only embassy was a modest station near Proxima, staffed by diplomats who traded coffee beans for data crystals and asked endless questions about alien biology. They had no fleet, no history of war, no reason to be here, and yet the Iron Mule wasn't alone. From behind a rogue comet, then from the shadow of a dead gas giant, then from the very dust of the drift, ships emerged. Not sleek warships, but rugged, patched-together vessels. Ore haulers retrofitted with rail turrets. Deep-range tugs bristling with missile pods, even a decommissioned terraforming barge now armed with sonic resonators. Dozens of them, hundreds, all flying the same crude insignia. A stylized fist gripping a wrench over a blue and green sphere. Humanity, Talon whispered. They came. With freighters? What the Alliance didn't know was that Earth had been listening. For months, human deep space monitors had tracked the Silent Maw's advance. While galactic powers debated treaties and containment zones, humanity had done what it always did. Built. Not just weapons, but solutions. Engineers in Shanghai and Lagos had reverse-engineered captured Maw drones. Neuroscientists in Reykjavik and Santiago had discovered that the hive mind's psychic frequency could be disrupted by chaotic, emotionally charged signals like rock music, stand-up comedy, or the sound of a baby crying, and shipwrights in lunar orbit had turned cargo vessels into war machines not for conquest, but for rescue. Captain Cho's voice crackled again, now over a shared tactical net. Alliance, listen up. Your shields are tuned to harmonic resonance, perfect for the Maw to sync with. We're broadcasting a counter-frequency on all bands. Bohemian Rhapsody, 1975 remaster. It's nonsense to them. Should buy you time. Talon blinked. Bohemian what? Before he could question it, the human fleet surged forward, not in formation, but in chaos. A tug named Rosie's Revenge launched a swarm of drone decoys playing polka music. An ice hauler called Minnesota Winter fired cryo-missiles laced with synthetic pheromones that confused the Maw's biosensors. And the Iron Mule itself, barely the size of a Maw scout, plowed straight into the heart of the enemy formation, its hull screaming as it deployed an experimental noise bomb, a sphere of raw, unfiltered human emotion, joy, rage, grief, hope, encoded into electromagnetic pulses. The effect was instantaneous. The Maw's advance stuttered. Bioships twitched, their smooth coordination fracturing. For the first time in recorded history, the Silent Maw hesitated. They're vulnerable to unpredictability, Talon realized. They expect logic, order, but humans are messy. Damn right we are. Cho laughed over comms. Now hit 'em while they're confused. The Alliance rallied. With human countersignals masking their movements, the Zenthari dreadnoughts unleashed plasma barrages. Qatari fighters wove through gaps created by human decoys. Even the crippled medical frigate Sanctuary launched repair drones that doubled as EMP mines. The tide turned not with superior firepower, but with noise, chaos, and sheer, stubborn refusal to accept the inevitable. By the time the Maw's Central Nexus ship imploded under a barrage of jury-rigged, antimatter torpedoes, courtesy of a human mining vessel that accidentally overloaded its core, the drift was silent again, but this time, it was the silence of victory. Talon hailed the Iron Mule. Captain Cho appeared on screen, mid-30s, grease on her cheek, a coffee mug in hand, grinning like she just won a poker game. You saved us, Talon said, voice thick with disbelief. Why, we've never aided your species. We barely acknowledged you, Cho shrugged. Saw folks in trouble. Figured someone ought to show up. But your ships, they're not warships. Nope, she said, sipping her coffee. They're people ships. And people don't let friends get eaten by space zombies. In the weeks that followed, the galaxy changed. The Free Systems Alliance, humbled and awed, offered Earth full membership in the Galactic Concord. The Zenthari gifted humanity blueprints for quantum shielding. Even the reclusive Mycelian collective sent spores of gratitude that bloomed into forests on Mars. But humanity asked for only one thing in return: a seat at the table when the next threat emerged, because the galaxy had learned a new truth, one etched in the wreckage of the silent maw and the defiant hulls of human freighters. When all hope seemed lost, when logic dictated surrender, when even the bravest races prepared to die, humanity showed up with duct tape rock music and a fleet of glorified trucks and said, "Not today." Loss had been certain until humanity intervened.